welcome everyone. Good morning or good afternoon, depending from where you join. Welcome to our ThoughtFarmer webinar. We'll be talking about our new mobile app today. Just a few housekeeping items before we get started. I wanted to ensure everybody that the session today will be recorded. So even if you haven't watched the full presentation or you want to share it with others, we will be following up with a link to the recording of the webinar today. If you have any questions throughout the presentation, we have set aside some time after to make sure and answer all your questions. If you want to just type them in as they pop into your head, type them into the Q&A box. There's a link there to a Q&A functionality in your Zoom toolbar. Add your question there, and then at the end of Jeff's presentation, we'll come back and we'll answer all of those questions for you. All right, so with that, let's get started. Hello, everybody. Just a few introductions before we dive into things here. If you haven't met us before, this is Jeff and Caroline presenting today from ThoughtFarmer. Jeff is our fierce director of product here at ThoughtFarmer, and he's just the best person to present today. He has had his hands in the conception, the design, the finessing of our mobile app, start to finish, and so he'll be showing you what all of our hard work resulted in today. My name is Caroline. I am Director of Customer Success here at ThoughtFarmer, so work closely with everybody on the success and support team here on our end. All right, and for those of you who perhaps haven't heard of ThoughtFarmer or heard of us before, if you're not a customer, just quickly wanted to talk about who we are and what we do. So ThoughtFarmer is intranet software. And we help organizations with our software improve their internal communication, collaboration, and knowledge share capabilities. If you want to find out more about what exactly we do, feel free to explore our website or get in touch with us later. We'll provide some links to that after the webinar. So our mobile app, and as I mentioned, it's been in the works for a while, this mobile app, right? We've had the vision of building the best internet mobile app around, and obviously that kind of ambition doesn't happen in just 1, 2, 3. So we went about to doing a lot of research with our customers. We wanted to find out, how an internet app could make our customers' lives and our customers' work better. And from that research, we walked away with several use cases or opportunities and challenges that we saw people deal with every day. And so before we get into showing you the ThoughtFarmer mobile app, we wanted to just share a small selection of findings with you. So some of the organizations that we interviewed and observed are in the not-for-profit sector, right? And so these are organizations with a mobile workforce often, right? Staff who needs a simple way to provide news and to receive news and updates from the field. So for these types of workers, for these types of organization, a mobile app really lets them create blog posts or content and share videos easily, as well as maybe find coworkers' contact information, and all of that very easily and while they are on the road. That kind of mobile app would provide a lot of value for these types of organization and these types of workers that are on the road quite a lot. So that's kind of the first story that we heard quite often, the first use case that we heard quite often. We also talked to a few government institutions, right? And from the ones that we talked to, the people we talked to that are currently ThoughtFarmer customers, several of them use FormFlow for health and safety scenarios. And of course, we all know that during the pandemic, those procedures have become extra important, right? So something that we heard quite often is a daily health self-assessment, right? It's a common way that our customers use FormFlow to kind of manage staff coming into the office and being able to kind of submit a health assessment ahead of time. So these teams want a mobile app where employees and staff can easily just go through this type of checklist and submit that form prior to arriving at the office, prior to arriving at work, even if they're not near a computer, even if they don't have a computer at home, being able to follow that checklist and submit it right from their mobile device would provide a lot of value, would be a big game changer. And then thirdly, we wanted to highlight a use case that we commonly heard when talking to companies who are active in the transportation industry, right? So think of organizations whose staff has a large representation of mobile workers, such as, drivers, mechanical engineers, facility staff, right? These are staff members who often don't have access easily to email, or sometimes they don't even have a corporate email account if they are on the road all the time. So a challenge here is around communicating with these types of employees, right? We heard from one organization that they actually stuffed printed communication into physical mailboxes for their mobile workers, right? And communications, of course, that get then viewed very sporadically when these staff, for example, swing by the office at the end or at the start of their shift. So not the best way to keep those people up to date on what's happening in the organization. So with a mobile app, mobile staff or staff that works out on the road could more easily access the internet and access communications or news from wherever and whenever they wish. So that was another thing that we heard quite clearly. So lots of research, lots of insights from this research, right? So armed with that, our fearless product team forged forward into the design stage of our native mobile app, and we built mock-ups, and then we built some more mock-ups, right? A whole series of them, and so this is a little transition that you see here on the screen. It's quite neat. You can see here from the very first wireframe to one of our final designs on the right. So we really took our time. We built the app, we designed it, we tested it, we reviewed it, we changed some things that we didn't like, and round and round we went until we are here today. And this is the result, right? I mean, this is just a screenshot. Jeff is going to show you the real result, but yeah, I think with this, I think it's an excellent time to take a bit of a deeper look and a much more exciting deep dive into that result. So I'm going to hand things off to Jeff here, and he will dive into the mobile app and show you all about it. Take it away, Jeff.
Great. Well, thank you very much, Caroline, for that introduction. Really appreciate that. Hi, everybody. My name is Jeff. I am the product manager here at ThoughtFarmer. It is my pleasure today to be presenting the brand new ThoughtFarmer mobile app to you and your staff. So thank you again for joining us. I do want to say a few more words and I'll get straight into the demo. I promise you there's a lot of exciting things we'd love to show you today. The ThoughtFarmer mobile app, as you can see on my screen here, is now freely available on the Apple App Store and the Google Play Store. So you can download it right now onto your device, or you can do it soon after the webinar, and you can literally repeat everything that I'm about to show you today, right? So this is live software. I'm using the same version that you see on the store. I'm going to be demoing on my iPhone SE2. Running iOS 14. However, our app does support iOS 13 as well, and also Android 9 and above on most Android devices. The specs are on our website. And you will see what I'm demoing today on iOS will work very similarly, if not exactly the same as Android. And that's by intention, because we wanted to create a single optimized mobile design that works for both platforms. Okay. So that's one thing to keep in mind. The other thing you will be happy to know is that this mobile app is not what sometimes people would call a light version, right? So there's nothing light about it. As Caroline said, it's been a long time in the making. We wanted to make sure the app achieves what we call full feature parity with ThoughtFarmer Web. Okay, so which means, good news, everything that you've come to know on ThoughtFarmer Web that you can do, that you love, will be available on the mobile app. right? Albeit in a smaller form factor that is optimized for the mobile experience. And if there's any IT folks on the call today, I do want to touch on a quick point about security, because I know that you will be interested in that. The ThoughtFarmer app is 100% secured in that it uses the same authentication methods that you would use on ThoughtFarmer web, right? So you would log in using your Windows credentials, login password, right? If you're using third-party SAML, Google, Azure, we continue to leverage all of that authentication mechanisms for the app. Okay, it's all in the cloud or in your self-hosted version. There's nothing cache on the app, so it's 100% secure. All right, so with that out of the way, one more thing is that Carolyn said we are targeting frontline workers, we're targeting remote workers, we're targeting employees who travel a lot. If you have shop floor workers, factory floor workers, right? Even desk workers. Imagine if you're working on your desk, if you just step out for a quick break for lunch, you'll be able to open up the app and check on news, approve requests, and do search. That's how convenient and amazing the app is. All right, so I'm about to show you, how many do we have here, Karen? We have 5 major use cases. I'll take you to a bunch of stories, right? Imagine you're one of the remote workers or desk workers using the app. So come along with me and see what we have in store for you. I'm going to start with the first use case, which is catching up on news, okay, and viewing, consuming content, sharing photos. It's a fairly benign type of workflow, however, very, very important if you think about it. That's most people use their intranet 80% of the time for that purpose. So I'm going to start with the homepage of the ThoughtFarmer mobile app, right? First thing you see is the branding, the look and feel of the mobile app itself, that all of the branding that you work so hard at creating for ThoughtFarmer web, they automatically carry over to the mobile app. You can see the site logo, right? All the different links, the different buttons on the screen. All of these are ported over to the app, but without you having to create another theme or another look and feel for the app, right? And that's again by design. You design it once, make it work everywhere. Second thing you might have noticed is that all the cards that you see on the ThoughtFarmer web, they're typically, there's multiple columns. They're kind of designed, laid out all over the screen on your largest screen. But on the app, everything is stacked nicely top to bottom. Okay, and the text and the images can be viewed very comfortably. Something that we call responsive layout, right? So there's no zooming in and out, pinching and zooming, scrolling left and right, none of that. Right? So everything is highly consumable on the mobile app. Okay. Yes, so let's go ahead and look at some of these news articles here on the homepage. Let me open up PCU supports local community. Sounds like a really good cause that these folks are doing here. There's a little blog post about what the community is doing, what the employees doing for the community. There's a little comment at the bottom here from Ian that says, a wonderful event with a great cause. Thank you. Well, I'm gonna like that. There you go, it's liked by me, that's good. And I can respond to Ian. Agree, whoops. Agree, whoops, I can't type today. Agree with you there. I can mention my colleagues easily, so to get their attention, right? You can go ahead and post that. Now, Ian, imagine now he's on his mobile app. He gets a notification right away to say that I've mentioned him, and he can respond and like my comment. Very simple, engaging type of workflow that you can do on the app, wherever you might be. Community events is very, something you see very common here is photo gallery, right? So you wanted to share lots of photos, what's going on at the event itself. You can see here on my phone, on the app, I can easily browse through all the beautiful photos that my colleagues have taken from that event. Okay. And again, if I see a comment at the bottom here, we obviously support commenting in ThoughtFarmer, right? Ben has said that he loved my photos. I'm gonna like that and say, yeah, for sure. Or you know what? Let me share my photo. Right? I do have a lot of photos actually captured on my phone. I love taking photos on my phone. That's actually a very common use case, right? Videos and images are so easily capture on your device these days, it makes a lot of sense to make the sharing experience easy. So that's what I'm about to show you. So imagine I'm actually at this volunteer event. I'm going to add a bunch of photos from my device. Go to my demo album here. Okay, here's a couple. I like there's some silly photos up there. So if I selected 3 photos, and I can easily upload them to my intranet. Go ahead and sort by latest, and there you go. All right, so the ability to capture pictures and videos live from the event and instantly share that with your coworkers at the back office and have them get excited about them, and comment on them and like them. It's a very, very effective way to connect with your coworkers. Gallery tools. I wanted to mention that on the app, we also bring you the full set of gallery tools. You can select multiple photos here, and then you can perform a number of operations at the top here, such as moving, deleting, archiving, downloading, and tagging. All right, I won't actually do any of that. There you go. So that's photo sharing. All right, let's move on to the next use case here. That's something that is very, very common and also important that is also unique to the mobile device is what we call push notifications. I know a number of you that I've spoken with before we even launched the mobile app. You've all asked for push notifications, and we've listened. We've taken your feedback seriously and launched it on V1 of the app. Okay, so what push notification does for you is the ability for your internal comms, HR, or even your CEO who might want to send out a very urgent and time-sensitive message to all your employees, right? Whether that's an emergency building situation, whether that's a unfortunate COVID exposure that could happen, whether that's a more of a regular, let's say, all hands meeting or a town hall meeting, you want to get people around quickly at the cafeteria, right? These are all time sensitive. It's very critical that you don't miss the messages. Guess what? Push notifications is used for that purpose. Okay, now for my demo, I'm going to use a more of a fun example to kind of show my point here. Now imagine I am working in the office and I am having lunch. I walked over to the kitchen sink and I noticed that things don't look good, right? The sink is starting to back up a little bit and there's some water on the floor. Not good, right? I need to let everybody know to stay away from the kitchen just for today, for the best, right? I'm sure that's happened to some of you before. So now one thing I want to do here is send a message out what we call the broadcast feature. Okay, the broadcast feature was released in 9.12. What we've done in ThoughtFarmer 10, the latest release, is to bring it to the mobile app. Okay, now to send a broadcast message, I don't actually have to go back to my laptop. So I can actually do it from the app itself. Okay, so under my profile, the 4th item down there is Broadcast Center. All right, so imagine I'm one of the communications team member. I want to create a new broadcast. I'm going to call it flooding. Ugh, not pretty there. Flooding. Okay, now this is the broadcast form that some of you might be familiar with. I will touch on it really quickly. Send date is immediately, right? I'm not going to wait any minute longer, but you can schedule it to send in the future if you like. Recipients, you can say all, but for my demo, I'm gonna just do Vancouver office, okay? And we offer 2 types of messages, standard or custom. Since I have no time to worry about formatting, I'm gonna select standard. Title, I'm just gonna call it flooding in kitchen, all right? And for text here, I have something that I copied earlier. Okay, there you go. Minor flooding in a kitchen due to a clogged drain. Please avoid until further notice. Reminder to review our kitchen use policy. Now, the last sentence there that you see there, it's a really effective way for you to say, hey, in addition to this message, you might want to see the attached link. And that's what this link to internal page is for. Right, so here I'm going to attach something that I call a kitchen etiquette do's and don'ts. Okay, so you are able to select an existing page on your intranet to link to this broadcast message, which I'm about to send. We offer 3 channels for you to broadcast on. So that you can maximize your reach, right? So if you can't reach somebody on one channel, hopefully they're on the other channel. We offer a banner, email, and mobile push notification. As I said earlier, banner and email were out in the earlier release of ThoughtFarmer. So for this demo, I will focus on mobile push. Okay, so now I fill all of this out. Remember, I'm sending out to the Vancouver folks, right? The office in Vancouver, the kitchen there is not doing that well. What I'm about to do here is I need to explain that I myself, I'm part of the Vancouver team. So in fact, I'm sending myself a message so that you can see how it looks on my phone. I'm going to turn off do not disturb here. All right, let's go ahead and see what happens. So I'm going to hit send. I get one more confirmation that says you're about to broadcast this message to 29 people in Vancouver via the mobile push channel. Are you sure? Right? Typically, you want to be sure if you send out to tens or hundreds of thousands of people, you want to make doubly sure this is the message. So let's go ahead and do that. There we go. PCU community flooding in kitchen, minor flooding. Please avoid. And then you get this sort of a momentary display of the banner and it disappears, right? Now that's something that Apple does automatically, what they call the temporary banner push, right? Now, of course, if you didn't have your phone on, if you happen to be out and about, in the office, then your phone might be locked, right? What you want to do there is go to your notification center, and you will see your notification there as well. You can see that I have a bunch of other notifications that I need to catch up on, but the first one here comes from the ThoughtFarmer app, right, as a recipient. So you can see the message is displayed in its full view. There is a read more at the end, right? Remember that little thing that I attached to the message, right? The kitchen etiquette. So that's what that's for. So if I tap on that message, I will be jumping into the app directly into that specific page where I can read more about how to behave nicely in your office kitchen. Yeah, do be polite and don't pour anything nasty down the drain. Oh, I can see my my coworker Carolyn has made a comment that she stole somebody's lunch. That's not cool. I'm sure that's happened to me a couple of times. All
Sorry,
right, so
Thomas.
that's all right. So that's push notification. Now, one more thing I wanted to show you about push notification is the ability to measure or monitor what's going on with that message, right? Once it's sent out to hundreds and thousands of your employees, how many people have actually tapped on it, like I did? So again, you can do this straight from your mobile app. You will go to the broadcast center, open up that broadcast that you sent, and click on stats. All right, so this is telling you that I've sent out the message to 29 people on the push channel. Of those 29 people who tap on the message is one of them, right? So the reach is not great. It depends on how long the message has been up there, but we typically find that with a good push message, up to 80 or 90% of employees will read it within the first couple minutes, right? Because it's so prominent. It's such a push mechanism that people, if they have it turned on their phone, they will see it. And we purposely kept the message short, if you notice there, right? So there's not a whole lot to read. And if you want to read more, you tap on it and you jump into the intranet, the kitchen etiquette page that I showed you. So it's a very simple way here that you can measure or monitor your messages. All done, all sent and received on your mobile app. Does that sound good? Perfect. So never miss another critical organization comms again. Alrighty, so I talked a little bit about push, right? So now the next thing we'll talk about is searching, right? The intranet search, another critical workflow that you have on ThoughtFarmer Web today, right? Everything you can do as far as searching goes on ThoughtFarmer Web, we brought it to the mobile app and made it even easier. Okay, now, why is searching important? You might be wondering on the app. Well, a lot of us work on the field, right? Might be out far away from the office, away from our coworkers. Um, there's a sense of sort of being lonely, right, out there on your own, right? You need all the support you can get, and guess what? A lot of times, the intranet is your knowledge base, is your single source of truth, and is where all your coworkers are, or all the expertises, right? So imagine I'm out on the road, I'm a salesperson, I am really lost, I really need some help here. I'm gonna tap on sales and find what I can find through my mobile app. I can see some sales news. There's a sales calendar. There's a post about doing a great job on an event. I might look that up and contact Jill. Logan Torres here is a sales rep. Yeah, sounds like a coworker I can ping some advice off of, right? So all of these things are now available at my fingertips. Okay, the advanced filter that we made available on the web is now available on the mobile app as well. Okay, so you can access all of that. Now for my demo, I'm gonna continue that fun example once again. So imagine the flooding is going on, right? It's getting worse. It's not getting better. I'm gonna look for the building manager here at the Vancouver office. You can see that Ian is a building manager and Jordan is the team building coach. So I guess Ian is somebody that I want here. I'm gonna contact Ian quickly here. Let me call him on this mobile phone. I can tap to call. I won't actually call Ian. We've added a link here to Ian's profile, right? Or he's done it himself, that he's reachable on Microsoft Teams. So if you're using Microsoft Teams today, you can integrate with ThoughtFarmer very easily. You can see here, I happen to have the Teams app installed on my phone. I can easily open the app, and there you go. Now I can start a chat with Ian. I've typed this in earlier. I say, hey, Ian, come to the kitchen, bring your tools. We can post that. Right? So very, very simple, quick way to connect out to your experts. Fortunately, Ian is offline. So let's go back to my app here, and I can also email Ian, and it launches my email app with the email pre-fill. Right? So I'm showing you multiple ways you can reach out to your coworkers through various mechanisms on your phone here. So there you go. There's search. All right. Let me touch on form flow, right? So Carolyn has mentioned that we've heard from a number of customers, actually, including ourselves here at ThoughtFarmer. We've been using ThoughtFarmer form flow for COVID health screening. So this is a very simple form flow. Here I'm selecting under my profile, second item from the top here, forms. Okay, so imagine if I'm an employee, I am about to head in to work at the office. I need to be filling in this form. Okay, this is mandatory. It's for everyone's safety. I'm going to select screening form for employees, start the request. Okay, the form asks me to a number of questions. Have I traveled outside of Canada? No. Are you in close contact? No. Are you in close contact with someone who's sick? Nope. And let's suppose that I do have some symptoms. I'm going to honestly answer yes. The form tells me, please do not enter the office and get yourself checked out further using the government assessment tool, right? So this is an external website I'm showing you now, which is nicely embedded inside the app. Okay, so let's go ahead and submit that form. So again, imagine if you're one of those employees heading into work, right? You can do this straight on your phone, right? While you're taking a train. You don't have to do this ahead of time. Remember to do it the night before, that sort of thing, right? So it's a very important thing for you to do it very quick, right? So most people will be able to do this. As HR, right, someone who is getting all the forms submitted from the employees, you are now able to review people's responses, again, on your mobile app. So I'm going to filter on the screening form. Show me all the open entries that people have submitted. You can see that there's a bunch submitted earlier, right? I can drill into each one and see what their status is. Unfortunately, somebody said yes, they do have symptoms. I can send them a note to say, take good care. Please work from home for today. I can change the status to approve, for example. Right. So again, now think beyond the simple screening form. Think beyond that and think about your critical business workflows where employees can submit requests, right? Requests to purchase something, office equipment, requests to get something done. Maybe that's customer service, maybe that's a procurement request, right? You do all of that from within the app. And then on the other side, your managers can approve or decline all these requests on the app as well, no matter where they are, right? So with the app, I would say that don't become the blocker to your employees just because you're away from your desk. That's how I would put it from a perspective of a manager. Alrighty, so the last thing I want to show you very quickly, if you haven't figured out already, is some of the navigational elements here on the mobile app, right? We put this row of controls at the bottom of the screen that you see here, right at your fingertips. The home button takes you home very quickly to orient yourself quickly in your intranet. The star here is the bookmarks or your favorites. Or you can switch over to history, in which case it becomes a clock, right? Your history, all the pages you visited. The little group icon in the middle here gives you fast access to your groups that you were part of. And finally, you can see the flag there with a little 1. Now that 1 is telling you that you have one unread alert. The concept of alert already exists in ThoughtFarmer Web. What we're doing here is bringing all of those alerts to the app so that you can check them easily. Okay, now the alert that I sent out earlier with the broadcast message, the broadcast message is a form of alert, so that's why it's showing up here. You can see there's many other alerts. There's mentions alerts, there's form alerts, right? If I was assigned a screening form to review, it will show up here as well. Finally, under my profile, I can access all my settings. Settings here, time zone, language, notifications. I also have access to require reading, broadcast setting, which I've showed you, and admin panel. Literally, if you're the intranet admin, you can manage your entire intranet on the mobile app if you choose to, right? This could be things like, or if somebody needs help with their account, you can quickly go into the user list and manage that. You can change owners, you can run a report and get that in the email. You can do everything that you normally do on the web, right, on the phone here. So extremely powerful here. Again, full feature parity. This is not a light version. All right. So I think that would be all the use cases I wanted to show you. A quick recap that I've showed you the ability to fill in forms, right, to manage your business workflows. I showed you the critical search feature. Show you how to consume news, share photos and videos, be able to like and comment and engage socially, right? And most importantly, the use of push notifications, which I hope you would use and find it useful as well. Alrighty, at this point, I'm going to hand it over to Caroline.
Hey Jeff, before you close
Yes.
your screen share, just really quick, because I had a question from Lily that is just asking if you could quickly demo the 3 lines, the hamburger menu.
Oh, of course,
top right.
yes, of course. Yes, thank you so much. Yes, I almost forgot that. The hamburger menu on the top right corner looks like a little hamburger, right? It's really a technical term. Is the super nav, which is what you would see on the left-hand pane on the ThoughtFarmer web. The navigational control here lets you jump from one section of the intranet to the other very quickly, right? So I can go to the Victoria branch and look at the birthday celebration. In 1 second, I can jump quickly to another part, right? The PCU team calendar. So it works exactly the same as you do on the web. Did I miss anything else, Caroline?
No, no, sorry. It was perfect because the question Lily posted right when you were ending the demo.
Yeah,
So I thought let's take
exactly.
advantage of you sharing your screen just real quick.
Absolutely, absolutely. Yes, thank you.
Perfect. Okay.
All
Well,
right.
thank you so much, Jeff. So I'm just going to start my screen share here real quick. We have tons of questions today, which is great. It's great to see so much excitement and engagement for the app. Before we get to the question, I just wanted to really quickly talk logistics a little bit in terms of like, how do you get the app? How do you install the app, right? So if you're a current ThoughtFarmer client and you're on the latest version, you can start using the app right now. Obviously, your users and yourself, you can, once you open your app, or your intranet on your mobile device, as you usually would have in the past, you'll see a banner there at the top that invites you to download the app. So that's one way that you can do it, that users can individually do it. But we also support MDM, or mobile device management, right? And that's kind of a software, any type of software that allows you to manage and control your staff's mobile devices policies, right? So things, apps like Microsoft Intune, Google Mobile Management, Jamf, Workspace ONE, those are all tools that allow that kind of remote management of mobile devices. So if you have something like that in-house, you can use it to deploy the ThoughtFarmer mobile app to your staff as well. And of course, it's nice because then your staff doesn't have to manually search for the app and download it themselves, right? And in the end as well, if anybody ever ends up losing their phone, your IT team using this MDM software could try to locate the phone, even wipe the content of the phone remotely so that there's no security risks there in terms of company data being compromised. So if that's something that you use today and you want to use it to deploy the mobile app to your staff, that is all supported. If you have any further questions about that, definitely get in touch with us, and our friendly support team will be more than happy to guide you through. All right, so time for questions. And so, yeah, we wanted to just start with some, we got a lot of questions ahead of the webinar. You might have noticed as you were registering for the webinar today that there was an option there for you to already ask a question to be featured in the webinar. And here are a few that we have, that we've selected to already answer ahead of time. So we also do have quite a few questions in the Q&A box, and we'll try to get to all of them today. But Jeff, I think it might be good to just start with the ones here on the screen if you wanted to tackle them. And then after that, I'll let you know if there's any additional questions in the Zoom chat, in the Q&A.
Absolutely, yes, yes. Thank you, Caroline. Yeah, these are great questions, by the way, and thank you again for submitting them, right? It always keeps us on the toes, but we love questions. We love answering questions. It gives us a lot of insights into what our customers want or are interested in. So question one, how do we get the app and what versions does it work with? As Caroline mentioned, your employees can go to the stores and download them freely and connect it up. Or if you have MDM, your IT can remotely deploy the app to everybody's phones and push that out. We support iOS and Android, iOS 13 and above, Android 9 and above on the modern devices, I would say, right? Most of the modern devices, iPhones and Android phones. You do need to upgrade to ThoughtFarmer 10 first on the server side before you can connect. Are there any prerequisites? Yes, I should say ThoughtFarmer 10 is the one prerequisite, right? At least on the app side. And the hardware prerequisites, I mentioned that already. Is there a Slack integration? Great question, right? So I demo the Teams integration, right? But you can imagine Slack is very similar. You can put a little link on your profile so that people can Slack you very easily through a single tap. That's one way to integrate. The other thing is that ThoughtFarmer Web already integrates with Slack today, right? So from within Slack, you can preview your intranet content, you can search your intranet, right? From Slack, you can even know what's going on within the intranet. So all of that is now available on the app as well. So as an example, if I posted some photos like I did earlier, right, to the community event, if you're a Slack type of person, well, you get a notification in the Slack channel that I posted photos, so you can respond to that. So yes, there is a Slack integration on the app. Does the people directory link to apps like Teams, Outlook, etc.? I did demo Teams and Outlook, so I made sure I do that in response to this question. So the answer is yes. How much does it cost? It costs absolutely nothing. It is free, and that's by intention there. We wanted to encourage you and your employees to use the app, right, while connected to the ThoughtFarmer service. Will this application be available to customers who are self-hosted? Absolutely, yes. If you're self-hosted, all you have to do is upgrade your instance to ThoughtFarmer 10, and the app will work exactly the same as a cloud-based customer. That's it. So same requirements as cloud. And Carolyn does have a documentation. We do have all the documentation on thoughtfarmer.com site. So search under support. That's it, Carolyn.
That's right.
Yeah.
All right. Well, that's not it, because we have quite a few questions in the Q&A panel as well there, Jeff, and I'll see if I can select some. I don't know if we'll have time to get through all of them, but if your question wasn't answered today live, rest assured that we'll follow up with you one-on-one and make sure that we do answer your question there. If you have any that are popping up right now, feel free to continue to write them in the Q&A box as well. So Anna Marie here, she's asking, are there any design hints or maybe limitations for intranet web pages so that they show up nice in the app? And I think probably Anna Marie is hinting to content creating on the desktop version of the app. Do you have any thoughts there, Jeff?
Yeah, that's a great question, Anna Marie. I would say that as far as design goes, right, if you're a designer, if you're the content producer, author, right, when you design your page, you would not be particularly thinking about desktop or mobile, right? You would instead focus on the content, which is what you're good at, which is what your job is about, and something you're passionate about, right? And you leave sort of the design, the layout to ThoughtFarmer, right? So ThoughtFarmer will worry about it. As I've shown you in the demo, all the cards that you normally see on the web, right? They are laid out in a comfortable way because you have a larger screen. But when it comes to the mobile app, we do stack them nicely, top to bottom, left to right. We do that automatically for you, so there's nothing for you to worry about, right? The only thing I would say is that when you're selecting the thumbnail for your article, you might want to pay attention to, I think, what we call the thumbnail, the smaller version of the thumbnail. So you get that right, and then it would appear very nicely on the mobile app. Other than that, yes, leave the rest to ThoughtFarmer.
Perfect. So there's definitely a few questions wanting to dive a little deeper into the Teams integration with ThoughtFarmer. Maria, I can point you. Sorry, Maria's just asking about documentation on how to set up the Teams integration or the Microsoft 365 integration with ThoughtFarmer. I can send you documentation on that after the fact, and we can also just like show you how Jeff brought up the Teams link in the demo here today from the profile. So we'll follow up with you on that. Philip here is asking, is the mobile intranet address different than our internal intranet address? So no, those will be exactly the same. Once you install the mobile app, you'll be prompted for your intranet domain or address, and that will be the same as the one that you use when you access it. Yeah. Maybe one last question. Yeah, how to choose? George here's asking, is there an easy way for employees to download the app from your intranet that doesn't require them to visit the App Store? So, yeah, Jeff, I think we talked about MDM there earlier. So that's
yes. I would say that that's the first thing that comes to mind, right? Typically, an IT organization would say, here's a list of 10 approved apps for you to use on your phone, right? Whether that's a corporate phone or your personal phone, right? And that's that list is managed by the MDM software itself, and your IT will be able to add ThoughtFarmer app to that list. And then once they've done that, then magically on your phone, right, it will the app will just show up. You will get a little message that says, IT is about to install this app on your phone. Do you approve? Yes or no? You hit approve, and it's there. There's no searching or downloading or anything like that. For sure.
Perfect. Excellent. All right, well, we're at time and I want to be respectful of everybody having to run to another meeting. So for those of you that I know there was lots more questions we didn't get to today, but we will be following up one-on-one with each of you to make sure they are answered. As mentioned as well, the session today was recorded, so we'll be sending out a link to the recording to all of you in the next few days. If you have any other questions or you want to get in touch or just chat more about the mobile app or about ThoughtFarmer, feel free to contact us. The contact information is here on the screen. We're always happy to chat internets and mobile apps. So that is it from us here in Vancouver. Wishing you all a great rest of your Wednesday, and we hope to chat with you soon. Thanks, everyone.